Hello. Welcome to the live stream. Okay, I'm going to try again and check if the audio is fine. I'm always doing that. I'm so sorry. That's my bad. So sorry. Okay, seems like it's working. So sorry. Okay. There you go. There you go. Okay. Oh, it's been quite a while since I went into a live. I'm so sorry. That's my bad. I really wanted to do it, but it's been so tiring for me the last couple of days. Even though I'm on my vacation period, I am definitely more tired. But it's because I am taking care of my child, and I am with all of the stuff that I have to do here. But anyways, I wanted to talk about a couple of things, but before I wanted to wait for a little bit if someone is going to pop up and see if I can get to chit chat with one of you. Else I'm just going to say what I came to say here for a while, and then I'm just going to leave. It's been quite tiring, I know. I hoped that everyone liked the videos that I posted just this week. I'm so sorry about that. I know I've been a little bit reckless on the amount of videos that I have to upload a week. I should be uploading at least 2 a week. But I'm getting some sort of problems with this computer that I have. So I think I'm going to order something different, or I'm going to buy a new one or try to fix it. So it's going to take me a while. So I hope that you can understand that. What I'm trying to do is trying to do the best editing. And sometimes it's so hard to edit something because the program that I'm using takes so much RAM from the computer that I'm using. This is an old laptop that I was using when I was in my master's degree, which was maybe 6 or 7 years ago. So it's been quite a long time. Maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So it's been quite some time. So that's why I need to change the equipment. That's why I changed the webcam. I get a new microphone because obviously the internal microphone and the internal webcam from this computer wasn't working properly, but I still use it for the first lives that I was in. So I still remember that I got some comments on it, and people were like, "Why are you using that webcam? You're not going to get..." I don't know what they said. I think they said it was, "I'm going to be famous" or something. And I said in that live, and it's like, I don't want to be famous, but I really want to show my face and not having a problem and saying, "Hey, you're just having a blurred line on top of you." So that's why I got, I think, a better webcam. Hopefully it will last for a long time. And this microphone already had it for a while now, before the webcam. And what I am missing is the computer. So anyways, that's something that I came also here to say. It's I'm so sorry if it's going to take me a long period of time trying to edit any video because I'm trying to search for a way to do less editing with the program that I use. And so the program that I'm using, it's called Camtasia. Camtasia, it's a powerful editing video. I'm sorry, powerful video editor. So it's much better than some of the other ones, free ones that are around. This one, of course, is not free, but it helps you a lot. It has less feature, I think less features than After Effects, I think, and Premiere, of course. I don't think I will ever get into Premiere. I mean, only if I have to do like a really big, good quality video. But I think you can get a decent one with Camtasia. I want to try with Filmora, but I don't know if someone has any, I don't know, suggestion, because every time that I use the Camtasia, what happened is that I will have at least, I think 3.8 gigabytes of RAM already been taken from this editor. I have a Windows 7, and it just takes a long time to do anything. So I really don't want to, I really don't want to damage this computer, because this is the only one that I have for now. And I know that I want to do better things, and it's so difficult because it takes so long. And I also wanted to try Filmora, but I don't want to. I have to have the program, but I don't want to install it and then have less features than Camtasia, and then I don't know, like have this I don't know how to explain it. It's like I will have both programs in my laptop, and it will be so difficult to figure out which one to use, and depends on how much of the RAM will take. Well, I'll take that back. It will be easier if I just like use one with one video and use the other one with another video, but it will take me a while to investigate. So I will also try to check on Google, but I have seen both sides. I have seen like both, like saying, okay, Filmora is better than Camtasia, and the other one is Camtasia is better than Filmora because of this. So I still need to figure it out if I'm going to keep on doing it with Camtasia. That's my focus. Like, I'm trying to focus on getting a computer that will handle the amount of RAM, the amount of memory that Camtasia is needing. But if I use Filmora, it will also take space, but it will be the first time that I'm going to be using this editor. So it's going to take me a while to figure it out. Hopefully it will be just the same as Camtasia. You don't have much things to just, I mean, you don't need like a manual or like an explanation when you get into Camtasia. You just go, you import the audios, the videos, the pictures, whatever thing that you need, and then you start like ensemble. You like put them like in pieces, and then you work on it. You edit it, you take the noise out. I don't know, you add different things in it. Camtasia has lots of what's this, like templates that you can use, which is great. So I am really used to Camtasia instead of Filmora. So anyways, that's for that topic. I hope that you understand. I I am definitely going to keep on doing different type of videos. I think I'm going to film tomorrow and maybe have something for the weekend, crossing fingers. But I think it's going to be like the news of the internet. And after that, I'm going to have another set of videos. I'm still on the idea of getting a video that has to do with myth, maybe no, not ghost stories, but maybe myths, at least, I mean, the Ecuadorian ones. Um, and I also have a couple of other topics that I don't know. I don't know if people want me to talk about because I have something to say. One of them has to do with feminism, but the radical feminism. And I really wanted to talk about it. I'm not sure if everyone will want to listen to my opinion. I'm going to try to be as smooth as I can with the amount of opinions that I can give related to the topic. I don't want to be that stressed out about being on one side or being in another side. So just in case if you think that those topics are not the best, just let me know. If there is something that you want me to talk about as well, you can leave me the comment too. I do think that I wanted to try and do some of the comments about that. And I have some comments, as I said last live stream, about these two or three girls, let's say it so, girls that are in YouTube that are morally obese and that are just full of drama. They are full of drama. I mean, I don't get it. I definitely don't get it. I mean, I wish I could just say, "Hey, you shouldn't be doing that drama. You should be like going out of the YouTube community." But it's not that simple. And they have so many problems, and they come here like in front of the camera. They start eating, and that's her whole life. I mean, from Amberlyn Reed, which is her whole life eating, for Chantal Marie, or Beauty Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, Chantal Show, um, The Daily Chantal, I think it was the last one that she posted. Anyways, also, she is going through difficulties on her own, but because of that, she's just like on top of everything and trying to jeopardize her health by still eating a lot. So I definitely don't understand. I really don't understand. And there is the third one. Well, there is a fourth one, by the way. But the third one is Amy's life's journey, I think she is. But she is not exactly eating in front of the camera, but she's doing something that it's completely opposite. It's like she's showing that she's losing weight, but she's not. And the fourth one is Shani for Christ. But in the hater community, she's called Shani for Satan. And why is she called Shani for Satan? Um, who are Dímelo. ¿Hablas en español or are you talking English? Good. Um, well, I was just talking about I was talking about actually nonsense. I was just talking about the random things that are in the YouTube community and what's going on. I don't know if you're like interested in talking about that or you want to talk about something specific. Oh, no, no se va, es verdad. No, nuestro acento no se va, olvida. Siempre vamos a tener un acento específico. Pero es bueno, ¿no? Al menos intentamos hablar ese otro idioma que no es nuestro, pero lo tenemos que tener presente. Bueno, si deseas topar algún tópico, sería fantástico si no continúo con lo que estaba conversando. Okay, so while Cheese God can tell us, also the people that are going to be watching the live chat later on, but until you say something, if you want to talk about something specific or not, I was just talking about 4 ladies that are in the YouTube community that are morbidly obese, that they are eating in front of the camera. Oh, great. It's fine. Just come here, stay here if you want. We can chat. It's fine. I mean, I'm usually try to not forget how to speak in English because I usually work with Chinese people and sometimes they have a different way of pronouncing words and you need to talk to them in a way that they can understand because we have like this barrier as well. We have a barrier in the language. So, but it's fine. It's definitely fine. But for me, it's good that I'm trying to not to forget talking in English. But if you mind it, if maybe I'm talking nonsense, I can speak in Spanish because that's my main language. And I'm usually putting like the names in English, like the live chats. I haven't even tried to put one in Spanish. I think I'm going to try the next time. But I'm guessing that there are more people that speak in English that are coming into the live chats than us that we talk Spanish. But I'm going to try. A certain time I'm going to try and see what's good, what's bad. But else, I mean, if you don't mind, I can keep on talking on what's going on with the YouTube community. Of usually, you have different creators that you watch, right? So, exactly. Yeah, but I like the Japanese because they have a better pronunciation of the English than the Chinese. You know, I mean, I am working in a very big project that has to do with mean that we are implementing an ERP in a big company. So we're working with like 200 people, mostly all of them Chinese, and they were mixing in between Chinese and I think it was Hindu. I don't think it was another one from another country, but they were mostly Chinese. So they were not speaking very well. I mean, some of them, because the ones that are like in front of the project, the bosses and the managers, all of them had very fluid English speaking. But the ones that are the operators, the one that you work with when you are testing things, the ones that you want them to talk better in English than the others, They just don't talk. They just have like little words that they use. And else we would just have to like talk like this for them to understand. So I tend to have that. And luckily I have several people there that can also speak in English, so I'm practicing. But it's not the same as if you are dealing with them 24/7, almost, which is terrible. But I do like the Japanese accent. And I tried to learn at certain point in my life. The hiragana and the katakana, they were easy, but the kanji was difficult. That was quite difficult because you have, in the kanji you have to like you have joined words, and I think you can also make phrases with it. So I got really confused. But as I said, I mean, Chinese and Japanese, people just keep on like mixing them, and they're so different, so different. Like you have the Korean and the Chinese and the Japanese, and inside they have like different in different provinces. Yes, exactly. I think we all know like the basic ones, the basic hiragana and katakana, and that's it. Yes, kanji is just a pain in the butt. A pain in the butt. You know. I mean, I remember when I was really young, I was doing anime events with some friends, and we were doing like in different places here in my city. And what we wanted is like we wanted to give the people that were assistant to our event to have like the best, I don't know, the best option ever, because you have different events going around. And we were printing the hiragana and the katakana and the kanji, and we had like different like tables so they can practice. And it was quite fun seeing people trying to do it, but they were just like getting tired and leave it. But at least they were trying to do something. And I remember also doing like the tea ceremony, or we were presenting games from Japan and stuff like that. Really? Wow. I think that if you pronounce my name, it will be like really funny, because my name is Patricia. So it will be like Patricia, or something like that. That was really funny. Richard. Oh my god. Yeah, I did that. I did it. I did it as well. I did it as well because it was so funny. It's like, okay, let's put my name like in the hiragana and try to hiragana or katakana. I don't remember now. It's been like 13, 14 years. 14 years. When I tried to learn it, I learned a couple of words, a couple of phrases, and then I forgot. So bad. Anyways, I mean, there are things that you need to do. And time is gold, to be honest. If there was some time left, we'll be like learning a different language or learning something different, but sometimes you're just so tired. But anyways, that's how it is. That's how it is. It's so, I mean, for me it was difficult. I'm guessing that for you was also difficult trying to learn Japanese. I think so. Yes, I think so. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't remember, but I remember how my name sound like when I formed. I remember that I sat down, I was talking to a friend, we were trying to make the names, and we were like, okay, it should be like this. And we also like, you have like the brush that you want to like do the names with, and then we were like checking on the different signs, and then we just like writing it down, and then we put like our names, etc., so we can make like a little, for our stands in the anime events. So it was kind of fun, and we're just like, hey, and we post that. So I remember my name, how it sounded like. That's how it is. That's I mean, I wish I could just go back and just follow that line again, like trying to learn Japanese. But, anyways. By the way, Cheese God, I'm sorry because, well, I should be saying Richard, I'm sorry. As I said, my name is Patricia, but you can call me Pat. So, is it your first time in my channel, or have you been already subscribed? I haven't seen you around, by the way. I usually do lives. I have been doing lives like 2 or 3 times a week. Ah, okay. So that means that you know little Japanese. Great. Oh, it's your first time. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here in the live. I mean, I have a different sets of like subscribers coming in, and I was feeling really bad because I think the last time that I did the live, I was on Sunday. Yeah, it was on Sunday, and I was talking to several people that came in, and one of them is like a really small subscriber, like a, let's say, like young in age. So he's like 9 years old, and he was like, "Please get online around 5:30 until 8:30." So I said it's difficult for me, but I'm going to try, but I haven't been able to. So, but it's great to have you around, by the way. If you want to stay, if you want to stick around, maybe coming into the lives, I am usually going live 2 or 3 times a week, trying to talk about anything that, if you want to talk about what's going on in the real life, or what's going on in YouTube, or if you have something specific to talk about. Let's say the last time that I was in a live and a couple of people came in, they said that they wanted to talk about ghost stories. And there was like, okay, let's talk about it. And I have a couple of, well, I have 3 experience about that. So I can do some sort of conversation about it. And one of the people that were in that live chat, he said that he had some sort of like extra sensory perception, I think it's called. So I don't know. I mean, really? Really? Do you want to tell it? You want to tell it? If you want to, just, I mean, I can definitely, I don't know if you want to tell it, by the way. Okay, go ahead. Let me put you here. Ghost stories are one of the best things ever. I don't know what people don't like it. I mean, I like the ghost stories, and sometimes people are like, I have been into one of those uncomfortable moments that you're like, this is not right. But you just like forget about it. Hi, F8. How are you? Good evening or good morning. And here is good evening. So we're talking about ghost stories, by the way. We just changed. We have like different sets of topics that we were talking about. First of all, we were talking about languages. So we were talking about Japanese and Chinese language, and now we just jumped abruptly into ghost stories. So I was just saying that in the last live stream, there was something, I mean, there was someone talking about that topic, and then I decided to stay and then talk about it. But if you want to stick around and if you want to tell your story, please do. I mean, I already told my story in the last live stream. Okay, I'm just going to put it here, okay? I'm going to read it with you. While I was working at the restaurant, going on my business, and then one of the waiters was talking to me about some orders. He's black, and I'm just like taking out all of them to be continued. Okay. Okay, don't tell me. Someone, I mean, you were talking with this guy, and then all of a sudden he wasn't there? I will tell you mine after you finish yours, and you will tell me what you think about my story, by the way. I mean, I already told it in the last live stream, but if someone is watching this live stream and already know the story, please just go ahead and jump it. I think it's going to take me for like 3 minutes or so just to talk about it. Maybe 4 minutes. And it's funny. I mean, the ghost stories, you think that they're not going to happen like to you because you're like the normal person. It's just like you're just doing your stuff and that's it. You're just like working or moving around, but little we know that there's a complete big world, let's say so, with these stories. Then I had to go to the freezer and get some of the appetizers that we make, and I clearly see him going into the freezer, and I'm like, that's weird. Waiters don't just go into the freezer. Okay. I mean, he just like went into it. He opened the door and he got into the freezer like that. Because what I'm thinking about in the restaurants, they usually have like a freezer is like a small room, right? So it's like sealed, it's like closed with a really like heavy door. So I'm just imagining that you're telling me that that person just got in, like opened the door and got into it right now, like that, right? I caught the door that he opened just before it was going to close. So he did open it. When I peeked inside to see if he needed help, the freezer was empty. Oh, really? It was empty? So you saw, I mean, you were talking to this guy and then he went inside and then he just disappeared. Didn't you mention anything to him? Like, didn't you like ask him? Hmm? I mean, that's scary. Wow. Mm. But did you ask him later? I mean, did you? I will have just like stayed there. Maybe your mind tricked you. Oh, okay. So I have a different question for you. Maybe, maybe there was another silhouette from another waiter. Maybe you confuse him, and that's the ghost story. I mean, it was someone that was working there before, and you thought that it was this guy, but it wasn't. It was a new one for you, but it was someone that was there. But it's, well, I'm going to tell you my story, and I will let you know what happened to me. But just finish. Do you talk to him? Do you manage to talk to him? Do you tell him, hey, I thought you were entering the freezer, but in the end it didn't seem like it? I mean, if you ask me, I will have just go insane. It's like, hey, what happened? I saw you entering. I just literally saw you entering the freezer. Terrible. And they usually said that the ghosts or this paranormal activity, they usually don't mess around with the physical entities or stuff that are around. So I am no ghost expert or no paranormal experience expert or whatever, but that's how it is. I mean, that's what I think. Mm, okay. Well, I'm guessing that it will be the same kind of clothes because you may have the uniform, right? So you may be sharing the same kind of like etiquette, right? Like, I don't know, the shirt and the trousers, and I'm guessing. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not true, but I'm saying that it's true. Oh, I don't know. I'm so sorry that I don't know how to pronounce your name, but thank you for the comment. Can summon spirit demons to do their binding? That's really scary. Wow. Did someone open the door? I mean, the only thing that I can tell you is that maybe there was something there moving around in that, um, or something happened in that freezer that you don't know. You know, there is something else that you may be or should be asking if you want to know. Did you didn't ask? I mean, to be honest, and that's where people are always like, no, but that's not true. It shouldn't be like that. But there's like, hey, if someone died, if someone was being like harassed or tortured in a place, their spirit or their energy stays there. And that's my ghost story, by the way. I'm going to tell you about that. And the thing is that your story has to do with something physical. You were holding the door almost as it's closed. So someone has to do some things. It has to be done. It had to be like opened. So that's how it is. That's crazy. That's definitely crazy. But how do you felt? After that, I'm going to start. But the last question that I have is, how did you felt after that happened? Did you saw something else later on? Did you ask what was happening? Did you, I don't know, were feeling something different after that? I'm guessing that you're still working at the same restaurant, so you may have felt something apart from that. This is really funny. This is really funny, let me tell you. Listening to other people that are talking about ghost stories, wow. Definitely, definitely. And starting my ghost story, I when I was really young, when when you peek inside, it's like, what the fuck, really? Yeah, but after that, I'm guessing that you closed the door, you talked to the waiter, and then you said, "Hey, I saw you coming in," and then he might have said, "Hey, no, this is not. It wasn't me. It wasn't me." And you may have asked someone else about it. Maybe someone else told you that something happened in that place, or no one knew. Maybe even the owners. You can talk to the owners and ask them if there is something specific going on. Wow, really? Why in restaurants though? Okay. No, I'm not smoking at the moment. I don't smoke. I was smoking a long time ago. No, but I don't smoke. Not at the moment. But thank you for asking and thank you for the comment. But it's my question will be, why will be in the restaurants? Why will be the apparitions they are common? And I think you should try and investigate a little bit more, Richard. I definitely think that you should be investigating a little bit more about it. And Jesse, thank you for being around. What? I'm smoking Granddaddy Purple right now as extra sticky. I'm taking a hit for you. Thank you. Thank you. I have already tried smoking. I have smoked for almost 15 years, but I left it. I left it and left it for good, but I loved it. I loved smoke, but I left it. I'm not smoker anymore. All he said to us is, "What's for food?" Ah, okay. It was your boss, right? Wow. I'm wondering where they can get that information from. That would be like excellent, like trying to get that information and trying to see where you can get that. But okay, you, now that we have your ghost story, let me tell you guys my ghost story. So what I was saying is that I was before, when I was really young, when I was like, when did that happen? I think it was like 22 or 23 years old. I was working in my uni, right? So this big building, let's say, was like a has been built for a very long time. Really? Hmm. That that's really strange though, because I'm guessing that it's in Puerto Rico, but because it's joined to um no, I'm not going to show you that. I'm so sorry. Um I have heard that it's joined to the United States, and they just, I'm guessing that they don't work the same, but I had a friend that was working as a waitress, and they were talking to their bosses, and they were trying to like talk to them. So I don't know. I'm guessing that it depends on the person and depends on the restaurant, by the way. So, but I'm still thinking about you trying to investigate what happened, and you can also tell us when this was, because my story was a very long time ago. So the story that I was going to tell you was when I was at uni, when I was working there. The building was really old, and it's still there, and it's still really old. They said that it was a morgue first, and they were torturing people there. There was also a military facility there as well. So I was in charge of laboratory. So I was working with all of the kids that were just there at uni. um, I was their supervisor. I was also a coordinator there. So I had the access to the keys. So I could work there at night if I wanted to. All I know is that even the hands of the Maneki Neko that we have there doesn't move. Okay. Okay, so that's bizarre then. What happened? I mean, as I said, I will be investigating a little bit more. So, what I was saying is that when I was working in this uni, I needed to do some extra work that has to do with my thesis. So, I had to go really late at night. And one time I went there, and because I had my keys and no one else had those, in like only my assistant and myself. And I went there for like maybe 10 p.m. and I was just staying for the whole night, and I was just going to keep on working until the next night, right? So I went there, I started working, I closed all the doors. I was just like working. I think I worked until 3 a.m. in the morning. And because I was tired, and I said to myself, okay, it's going to get early, like right away. So I decided to take a sleep, maybe just somewhere, like take a rest, not a sleep because I wasn't going to be able to sleep, but take a rest. So we had a really old air conditioner, the ones that you have to like turn it, right? So it wasn't the digital one. And we also had a little like sound studio or sound room that was completely covered with rugs and stuff, so we can do different recordings. And we have a really heavy door, and inside there were some chairs. So what I did was I turned on the air conditioner. I put it like on the lowest temperature, so it was really cold. I got into this sound room, and then I put some chairs, like I closed the door and I put some chairs against the door. And because I brought a blanket with me, I covered myself. So I was trying to get some rest, right? And there was this glass window for that room. And I was feeling that someone was looking at me. I remember like moving around and like pushing myself a little bit to see if there was someone in. No one was there. I already turned off all of the lights, so no one was there. The thing is that I decided to just fall asleep. So I think I woke up 2 hours later, and I was like, what happened? It was really hot, really hot. So what I did was I was at the same position that I fell asleep. So I took off the chairs, I moved everything, I opened the door, and then I went to the air conditioner, and I saw that the air conditioner was on its highest temperature, and I left it on the lowest temperature. And that air conditioner, it's not a digital one, so it won't move by itself. So, and it was 5 a.m. in the morning. No one entered. And I waited for my assistant to get there. And I asked him, did you come around 5 a.m. in the morning? And he said, no. He was just coming in like around 9 a.m. Um, no, actually, no, because there was a couple of other stories, other experiences that I had at the same building. So I was just like, okay, there are people here that they haven't even, they cannot rest. We do have this kind of, let's say, culture that we believe in ghosts. So we do believe that there are energy going around. And it might have been it. Because they said, well, the first ones that were opening that laboratory, they said that they wanted to like start painting the room when they first like got this building, and they were closing it with locks just to not letting the people to get in. And as soon as they come out, like the next morning, they were opening the locks and trying to like to get everything set up. And the whole painting was like scratch, and there was like really bad writing, like it was completely damaged. It was like someone entered the room at night even though no one else had the keys, and they were just like scratching all of the walls inside of that room. So, in our culture, in the Latin American culture, we do believe in like in what's this called, in the holy water, and I don't know, priests that goes around trying to like bless the place. So we ask, well, they ask because I wasn't there. So they ask someone to come in to bless the place, and they even think that they weren't going to like actually put the paint there. So they put like a really um like it wasn't bright colors, it was just like blues and I don't know, browns and stuff. My grandma used to say that if you feel like you are being watched and after a while you feel paranoid, it's a demon. Oh wow. Oh wow. Really? mm, I wasn't feel paranoid. um I wasn't I wasn't feel paranoid, but I do feel that someone was watching me. I felt that someone was watching me that night. Definitely. Not exactly blessing houses, but they were like blessing a building. But this building was a morgue before, and it was a military facility, and they said that they were killing people there. A sleep peeper ghost? That's interesting. What does that mean? If that means that someone will physically change something for you to react. I know for sure that if you, people have told me about ghosts. And I have always had in my mind that if I have to feel that, I will have to try not to be scared, because that's the way for them to get into you or to try to dominate you. That's why you have to realize that they are there. You have to realize that you don't want to bother them, that you don't want to do anything to them, and it's their space and you're invading their space. And the only thing that I could do was like I remember that when I saw that, I mean the air conditioner, I saw that that was changed. At the first moment I was like shocked. And then after that I was just like, okay, I'm going to take a deep breath, and I was trying to talk out loud. I remember saying, I'm so sorry if I'm invading your space at this time at night. I'm going to try not to do it again if I did something wrong. And that's it. That's what I said at that moment. I get a feeling like something is literally on my back sometimes. Weird feeling usually happen when I don't get enough sleep. Yes, and there is also stories about ghosts being on your back because they are feeding from your energy. That's something else that they said. Also, when you feel rage or anger or any or another type of demon, I guess it might be. I mean, no, I wasn't feeling anything like that at that moment. Like I was like, I mean, at first I was like, what happened? Who entered the room? And I was like trying to watch it because there was like this little window next to the air conditioner, but there was anyone walking around. We have lots of guards walking around. But anyways, doubtful, that's just chemicals in your brain reacting to a trigger. Mm, yes, I mean there are different things, but the thing is that the proper explanation of how this old air conditioner, that it's not a digital one, you have to like move the thingies just to change the temperature, and then you have the high, medium, low. The one that I left was in the low, and when I woke up it was in the high, right? And it was really hard to move it, first of all. And second, I usually don't walk sleep. That's how it's called. I'm not a sleepwalker. I'm sorry. I'm not a sleepwalker. And I had a sound room where which I entered, and I put some chairs that were blocking. I mean, they were blocking the door, and I covered myself with a blanket because it was already being really cold. So I mean, I mean, the place that was, I mean, what happened was when I was working. Wasn't it was a long time ago. It was like 13 years ago, and it was like in an old building. When I was where I was working, it was a uni, it was a university, but before it was a military facility and also a morgue. But they made the university there with the old buildings, with the old buildings, because there were several, and they did a laboratory there. And at that moment, they weren't anyone in that room that I was in, and I had the keys, and I have the keys, and my assistant had the keys. Only the two of us, and it was really late at night. It was 3 a.m. in the morning, and I woke up around 5 a.m. in the morning, and I waited for my assistant to come by, and I asked him if he opened the door, and he said no, I was just coming in. So there is a natural anger. Our anger, what I mean is when you feel a presence or have a feeling you're being watched and you feel anger, it's probably a demon. Oh, okay. Let me remember. I don't think that I was feeling anger, but I just felt like there was someone watching, but because I was so tired, I just decided to wait, like wait and see. Maybe it was only my imagination or because I wanted just to fall asleep. In Russia, we call demon with stick called boob. We wave 3 times. Okay. So you call it like boop, 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 like this? I mean, I guess so. I mean, I guess it might be folklore, but it sounds really interesting, to be honest. Okay, Richard, we'll be here. I mean, at that moment, I was a little bit skeptical, by the way, because it was the first thing that happened to me. I have two other things that also happened to me at that same building. And that's when I started asking. Because I didn't, when I just got there to work, I remember the first time that I opened that door, I felt that someone wanted to kill me. I don't know, you have felt it? If it's something, um, thank you, Johnny. I'm just trying to make it work, you know. I'm just trying to talk to you guys. It's easier to get along and to try to explain myself in English. If I have some problems with my English, I'm so sorry. I'm open to any suggestions if I have something that I said wrong. But as I was saying, I remember the first time that I entered this place. And it was the first time that I wanted to like search for a job and also search for a thesis director because I was searching for someone that could like take me to end my career because I was working there. I mean, I was studying there, I'm sorry. So, okay. I mean, I'm not a Spanish, but I'm from Latin America and I am from a place that we don't have exactly an accent, I think, or if we do have an accent, it's really small. It's not like the Colombian one, the one, or the Chile, the people from Chile that had their really like strong accent. But thank you. I'm glad that I don't have like the normal type of accent that when people are just starting to learn English, so it's really difficult to talk to. So, but the thing is that when I entered this place, I just felt that if someone wanted to kill me, and there was just like two people working in one of the computers, and I was just like waiting for the the thesis director to come by to talk to me in that laboratory. And I was like, oh my God, I just felt that someone wanted to kill me. And then afterwards, I talked to people that were working there, and they said, yes, there is something strange in this place, but we don't know what's going on, right? So, and that was later on when those 3 episodes, because this was one of the things that that happened to me. Um, the other one was like I was just walking, going into this laboratory, and then the thing is that I saw someone coming like on the other side because it was just like wall there was like window walls, right? There was like a small place underneath the laboratory, so I have like to walk around and then turn to get upstairs to the laboratory. So I was just like walking around and I saw someone coming in. I mean, just to this person, let's say it so, this person had this black jacket on it, and that's how usually the guards look like. They have like a black jacket, they have their hats on, and they was just like usually walking around. So I thought it was one of the guards that were coming towards me because it was listening to me walking to the laboratory. So I said, "Hey, I think I said good afternoon." And then as soon as I turned, there wasn't anyone there. There wasn't anyone. Yes, yes. The last thing that I go through in this place was that this building has two-story buildings, right? So two floors. Like, well, it was like the ground floor, the mezzanine, and then the first floor, and then the second floor. So in this place, you will have, let's say, different rooms when people were just like going there to like work in their computers, or because they were teaching graphic design and all of the arts. I think it has to do with painting and I don't know, all of that. Well, it was really difficult to run, to be honest. I mean, in that place, because everything is just so closed, you can hear the breathing of someone that was like on the other corner. If especially because I was just going around the weekends because it was easier for me to work because no one was there. I was like in my peace, in my quiet space, so I can work as much as I can. But it was really difficult not to notice someone going around, right? Black Mumbo Jumbo, its spirit ghost god of Mexico. Okay. Oh, that is in Mexico. I'm guessing that there will be other spirit ghost gods around. Well, but the thing is that the third thing that happened to me was about there was another night that I was staying there. And I remember that that was the last night that I decided to sleep in that office because I was the type of person that was really active, that loves to like do like play sports and talk to the people around because there were a lot of students staying there working with their computers on the first floor because they were doing their thesis as well. So I remember one of those nights that one of the girls that was also working upstairs came downstairs to talk to me. And she said, "Hey, do you want to listen to something?" And I'm like, "Okay." And she said, "Okay, let's go to the sound room on the same sound room that I was sleeping at that time." I was like, "Okay." We turn off the lights. Okay. It was kind of creepy again because I was like, "Okay, this is strange," but I didn't felt anything, by the way. So she said, "Okay, I want you to listen and let's try to keep on quiet and let's try to listen." So we did. We were listening, and this is funny. I was listening that there were like things being thrown to the windows and to the walls and to the doors. There was just like this sound, like things being thrown to the walls. And I'm like, what happened? And because I wasn't one of the principals, but I was one of the people in charge of those laboratories, I was like, okay, I need to make sure that it isn't anyone upstairs doing all of this fuss. So she said, "No, no, no, it's not them. It's something else on the second floor." And I'm like, "No, no, it shouldn't be. It should be one of the people that are upstairs that are making noise." So I went upstairs because the mezzanine, it took me to the first floor, and then I have I wish it was a tornado, to be honest, because I was like, okay, this is not how it should be. And I was still listening to the sound. Okay, I was still listening to things being thrown to the wall. So I went into this laboratory, and I didn't want it to upset or make the people just to feel uncomfortable with my questions. So I just opened the door and I said, if there is something happening, or if, I mean, are you making, like, are you moving desks or, I don't know, chairs or whatever thing you have around? Um, and they said, no, we are just like here working and nothing else. And I asked them if they have been hearing things, and they said, not lately, but maybe upstairs, like on the second floor. So, okay, they have also listened, I mean, hear this. So, the only way to get to the second floor was by, um, it was a staircase that will take you from the ground floor to that part of the building, or from the laboratory that I was in, I mean, talking to my students, walking around through a hall that was completely dark until the end of that part of the building, and there was another staircase to go upstairs, and then you will find that room. Okay, so what happened is that when I was walking through that hall, the things were starting to stop. You know, I was just listening, less and less stuff being thrown to the wall. I got into the middle of the hall, and then were just like one thing being thrown. I, in my mind, said, okay, this is not for me to go. I mean, I am not the one. I was on by myself. I didn't even have like a cell phone to record anything, because it was at that time when you didn't have like the best cell phones just to record anything. And I just decided to walk away. And I, since I just, I mean, I can tell you definitely that was like really shocking to me. I turned myself, and I was like leaving behind that path to go to the second floor. And I was just walking closer to the laboratory that I was with my students. And the things were just, again, you will still hear the things being thrown to the walls. And I remember asking one of the people that were cleaning if they have seen something, if they were checking upstairs every day. And they said, yes, yes, we have been checking if there is any, like, I don't know, like unorganized room, or if there is something out of the ordinary. They say that they haven't, but I asked them if they were hearing those things as well, and they said yes. They have seen different things, and I still have their contacts. I don't know if I can just like try to talk to them and ask them if they remember what else they have been watching or seeing in that building. To summon Black Mumbo Jumbo, call to North saying I summon. Ooh, wow. Why would I want to summon that ghost? I mean, yes, it will be funny because I'm not there anymore. Like, it will be funny to just listen to their stories. I mean, it's, of course, if you tell me to go there, I mean, the last live stream I told the people that was in this live stream that I wanted to like take a picture or take a video there. I'm not sure if I'm able to do that because the university already closed in that building. I mean, it's not there anymore. So it's been given to the state. So, or to the government. So I am not sure if they have closed the doors. Before, because it was a university, it was open. And I remember going there a long time ago. but I don't know if I'm able to go now and being able to just like trying to film and do like a video. I don't know. I think it will be funny to know about the stories, but of course I'll be freaked out if I have to like be there and listening to what's going on, or just to like pass through that again. But it's freaky, yes. I mean, I definitely will want to take a picture, but I don't know if I might be able to. I'll tell you what, I'll fly down to whatever country you're in, pick you up, and we'll go to. I wish. I mean, if I could talk to the state here, I mean to the local authorities to let us like check on there, but I will definitely not go at night because they said that things happened around night. I mean around at night. So there are all myths here as well. There are lots of stories in the cemetery as well. The cemetery is like 3 blocks away from this building. And hello, you missed out a couple of stories that I tell. Wow. That would be scary, to be honest. I mean, what if there are demons? That will be like really scary. But let me tell you, the ones that are in the cemeteries, I mean, at least the general cemetery, those stories are creepy as hell. Yes, like long story short, I was just like, um, I saw like an entity, let's say. I was just walking around the building and I just crossed over just like you saw someone passing through somewhere. I saw the same thing at that same building. And apart from that, I was listening to different sounds coming from a room in the second floor, and I was just trying to check if someone was doing that kind of sound. It sounded like chairs and desk like being thrown to the wall, and it wasn't. I was walking, I was trying to get into that room, and at certain point when I was walking, going closer to that staircase that will take me to that room in the second floor, it's starting to stop. The sound was just stopping. So I decided to turn myself and leave that place, and then again I'll start to listen to all of these sounds. So by the way, oh, really? That's like really, really freaky. No, don't say that. I have been to cemeteries at night, pretty chill from my experience. I have been in cemeteries at night. I haven't been like at the general cemetery, which that's kind of creepy because we have like walls and walls and walls of dead people. So they are not like in the ground, like underneath it. Like there's like walls and walls and walls. And they said that there are different stories regarding to people that are around. Like there are kids there, like walking around, like being lost from their mothers, or they are supposedly there is a story of like a cemetery. Um, well, the people that are taking care of the cemetery, they were just, like walking around, but it's not alive. So you go around and you ask that person, supposedly it's there, asking for directions, and he will tell you a different direction. And there is another story about I think it's an old woman that it's trying to ask for a taxi outside one of the main gates of the cemetery, because we have like 4 or 5 gates. I think it's on the second or the third. And this lady, it's at night, I think. And she's always asking for a taxi just to take her somewhere. And She goes in, and then after that, like a couple of blocks later, the taxi will recognize that there is no one there. And that's how it is. Oh, why would I want to summon that? Yes, yes, I had the same feeling, like a disco club DJ. Woohoo! That's what I thought. But I mean, talking about the Lord of the Dead, I mean, I don't think we should like try to mess up with that. You know, that sounds like really creepy. I mean, trying to summon them. No, I mean, I'm fine just going through that experience until being able to get out alive, because I have heard lots of bad things. I think to assume something is supernatural is to assume you are mentally healthy. When strange things happen to me, I am more open to the possibility I'm mentally ill than seeing a ghost. Um, yes, I think. Because I mean, at first I thought it was me. I mean, the first thing that happened to me at that building was, well, apart from feeling that someone wanted to kill me when I first entered that room, was what happened with the air conditioner. So I had to like I don't know, think about it twice, and I talked to certain people. I talked to my parents about it at that time, and I then remember trying to talk to different students, and they were telling me, "Hey, I don't worry about it. I have already heard or feel or I don't know, I have felt or whatever. There is something odd in this building, and it's not only you." So that's why I decided to, like, okay, it's not me. I mean, it's not my problem, because you know when you are around, when you're doing your stuff, you are not you don't think that something is going to happen to you, or something like that is going to happen to you. You just tend to just like do your stuff, and you know um, do your normal stuff every day. And that was something that I had in my mind. I decided to work at night because when I was really young, I was working like late at night. It was easier for me to work that way. And that's what was it. I decided to stay in the uni because they were giving me all of the tools, like the computers were there, and I had the internet connection, and it was easier for me to just like try to work with that. And I wasn't even thinking about something happening to me, and it happened. And that's how it was. Hey, Chicano Azteca, we were talking about ghost stories. We were talking about things that have been happening to us. So I decided to ask Cheese God, that I don't know if he's still around, and he told me his ghost story, and I told everyone that it's here, I told my ghost stories. There are real life ghost investigators, and every single time they find something logical behind bizarre occurrences. I guess, and I hope that they can find something. I don't know if, I mean, as I said, I don't know if the state will open the place, or open the building that I was working in, and to decide to stay for one night. Because usually when you are like set up to try to find something, you are not finding anything. Oh, really? You wanted to tell us what happened? Yes, spill the beans. That's how it's been said. But Because I already told mine, as I said, like in a nutshell, like someone or something changed magically the air conditioner that I was in a room in. So in this was a really old air conditioner, so you have to like move the thingies. I don't know how to say it. Oh my god. But you have to like move it to just turn it on or off and whatever. Um, it is true. That's why you need to like chill. You need to take like a deep breath and relax. I know that it's difficult, but it has to be done that way. Else, I mean, if you ask me at that time, 5 a.m. in the morning, and I didn't have like anyone there to talk to, and it was still at night, what would it say? It's like, I mean, I wouldn't be able to call anyone at that time, you know? There wasn't even, I mean, no one will ever answer my phone. And it wasn't like the time to call or to text someone. So last week I came home and I opened my front door and I heard a woman say very clearly, "Hello." I couldn't tell if it was in front or behind me, but it was so close as if they were a few feet away. Okay. So you think it was inside your house? That was mm-mm. So it was like, I mean, do you live with someone? That's the question. Or do you live with your parents, with your significant other? Um, is it? I don't know. Did you reckon the thing is, don't tell me your story, but do you recognize the voice of the woman? It's like it was someone that you think it was um, known for you or not, or it was unfamiliar. It could have been the door cracking and your mind interpreting the crack as hello. You think so? Mm. Mm. Okay, I said, I thought I misheard the security system say front door open somehow, but it never said hello. And the voice is different. I've never heard that voice before. I live alone. Oh, oh. When cars drive by in Lush, I hear my name, Scott. It's a common phenomenon. Okay. But going back to that, I mean to the story here. It was the only time that you heard that. I mean, you haven't heard it before. You heard it last week, and that's it. Do you live like in a I don't know, in an apartment building? Maybe there was someone there around talking to someone else, or there was someone on the phone. The typical that you're talking around, or you're just watching someone is like hello. Could that have been that? Well, I have also, well, I don't know if I should say it. This was going to be like a bad joke, but every time that you are like wanted to um, give a cat a bath, you can hear them saying Raul. So that's a common phenomenon too. In Russia, we call Bisbashku. I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong, by the way. Whisper woman of the dead. Oh my God, you know so much. You know so much. I wish I could. Um, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but you know a lot. That's scary. You love ghost stories, I guess. There is a phenomenon that causes your subconscious mind to hear certain sounds as words that sounds familiar. Mm. Do you know the name of that phenomenon so we can search for it? No, I have a house. I looked around before me. No one was around. It freaked me out. I went through my house with a knife looking for someone. Wow. I'm so sorry that you have been freaked out. Have you done something after that week regarding to it? Have you seen anything else? I mean, I'm guessing that you are being prepared to listen again to that sound, right? So I'm thinking that you may be like trying to be more cautious. Okay. I chalk it up to my mind was playing tricks on me. I assume I misheard the security system. It could have been. In Russia, people seek refuge in abandoned morgues with demonic activities because they rather take chances with evil ghosts and oh my god. Um, I don't know exactly what's happening in Russia, but if that's what's been going on, I don't know if I would want to go to the morgues. No, you never heard it again. I don't particularly look for it. I feel when you do that, it is easy to hear and see things as something they are not. Exactly, exactly. Maybe you were tired mentally at that time, and then you got lost in something, and then you thought you were listening to things. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. It could have been. Only way to know is to bring someone into your house when you hear it. But it was only one time, so maybe it's not that easy, you know? It doesn't have like a special moment like in my case that I will tell you, hey, things are just happening at night or they're happening like around the afternoon, right? It's not that. It's like, okay, it's happening. It just happened like that. But that's crazy, you know? It's really crazy. And I'm sorry about the, I don't know if it's a girl or if it's a guy that it's talking to us about what's going on with the ghost stories or I don't know, the names of the ghosts in, in Russia. But I'm really thankful. You know a lot. Okay, I'm sorry. I think I have to go from here. No, I was just walking into my home, and as I normally do, it was so clear. I literally thought someone was saying hello. But you said someone. You didn't like recognize the voice. It was someone familiar. Or it was just like someone that was like out of the blue. Nothing. n- Um, no one that you know that has that voice. That's what I'm referring to. Your mind is incredibly powerful. It is. It's capable of producing hallucinations. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And I have another story in that case when I was dreaming that I was walking into an alley and someone came with a shotgun and shot at me. And I woke up and I remember that when I woke up, I was still listening to the sound of the gun. And I have this sleeping paralysis. So I couldn't even move. I mean, I could only, I mean, at that moment, I was only being able to move my eyes, not even my legs, my hands. I couldn't even talk or scream. It was terrifying. It was so clear and feminine. That's strange. She's a lonely ghost. Yeah, like a random person. I wonder. I wonder. And you said it was like last week. I always assume auditory hallucinations. There have been a few times where, right before I fall asleep, I heard a noise in my room. One time I heard a glass shatter, another time I heard a coin drop. Um, Maybe it's because your mind it's already going into like that state of that stage of the dreaming process, but your body isn't. So that might be the case. Oh my god, that was terrifying. You know, thinking about like hearing hearing a gun in your head and still listening to the sound. You can hear. I mean, I don't know if you have already. It will be shoot a gun, but you can listen to a deep sound in your ear when you shoot a gun. And why do I tell you this? Because I practiced. I was practicing when I was really young. I did the pre-military service, so it was only like 1 year, by the way, and I had to shoot a gun. So I remember listening to that, and you have it in your ear for a very long time, and that's how I felt it. So that's how as real as it was. Oh, I have had those like maybe 4 or 5 times. Around it was quite a like let's say it felt real because you woke up like, oh my god, what's going on? You felt like for a second your bed wasn't there. You don't believe in ghosts, okay? Okay, that's why you don't think that it's true, which is good. I think it's better. Ever heard of hypnotic hallucinations? Completely normal. That's what that sounds like. Mm? Oh, you ever wake up and still feel like you're falling? No. No, I felt that when I opened my eyes, I managed to grab myself like to the bed. That's what I felt. Have not heard the term, but I have always now to illusion of some sort. You know, it sounds rational to say about the hallucinations, but in certain cases, you have to have a collective hallucination, like everyone is passing through the same thing, or if they heard or have seen the same things. You know, you ain't had a real falling dream yet. It will happen. Oh, really? It must. It, oh, you are suggesting my brain now. Hopefully, I won't have that dream tonight. I mean, I know why that happened because supposedly that happens when your brain and your heart disconnect themselves. It's like you stop breathing and your brain just gives you like a charge of energy and charge of energy or an energy discharge will be. So that's why you feel that everything like it's gone, like you're starting to fall. That's why they said. I don't know. Fallen dreams are the worst. I agree. Where you fall in slow motion and never hit the ground, perpetually falling in slow motion. I mean, those 5 or 4 times that I have felt that I was falling, I felt it was just like for a second. It wasn't like I just felt like everything like underneath me was gone. I was just like falling. I don't know if you have felt that. It's like a hole underneath you that sucks you in. Ah, I don't think that they're fun. Well, if I still have to like go through a real falling dream, then I don't like it. I mean, I actually don't like the ones that I have been into. And I remember that I was feeling that when I was really young, not now. I mean, right now it's like gone, but when I was really young, and when I have different relatives that were passing away at that time, and I remember that I was feeling them just as soon as they passed. Like I was in their, in their burial, and at the same night I was just feeling that. Or there was like 2 or 3 nights that I was being feeling that feeling that I was falling down, and I was really young. But that, I mean, ghost stories are just fun, just fun, but not to go through them again. I don't know exactly what that means, but I can search for it. Oh, outer body experiences. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. No, I don't think so. I don't think I haven't. No, I don't think so. I don't remember. At least I don't remember. I don't know if I did it when I was younger. I don't remember. The absolute worst dream I've ever had was dreaming of nothing but blackness and feeling time going forward fast, and feeling it going by faster and faster. Oh, wow. That's, I mean, you can see the time going by, because if it's completely blackness, then you can like, you wouldn't be able to see anything. They're brought on by extreme stress and anxiety. Oh, so no, I am guessing not. I haven't been on that. I mean, I haven't had any derealization. You think? But he was just like looking at blackness. And that's it. I know that we have so much in our brain to investigate, and to being able to bring out. Our mind is just brilliant, but we don't know how to use it. Yeah, it's just black, but feeling like you're there and time speeding up. Ah, okay, okay. That will be like a strange feeling, to be honest. That will be like a strange feeling. I mean, I will be feeling like, oh my god, what's going on? That's crazy. I know. I mean, I'm guessing that in every single dream that you're feeling that everything is just gone to the worst. I mean, I have had lots of nightmares, of course, and it's a helpless feeling. That's what happened eventually. The stars of the universe will eventually all burn out, and absolute nothing will become reality. You think? Okay, so if that's the case, then you definitely jumped until the end of time, and nothing is there. That's crazy. That's crazy. Have you ever thought about some? I mean, did you have another kind of experience after that dream? I wonder when, because everything has a cycle. So there must be an expiration date. Let's say it like that. There must be an expiration date. these kind of topics are like passionate, you know, these are like really interesting to search for and to being able like to talk about. I'm still thinking of doing that Ecuadorian myths, to see if I can do that for my channel. Then in a million trillion years, another big bang, possibly, theoretically. Okay, then we're not going to be alive then. No worries. I was just thinking it was going to happen like closer to our dates. Especially that we don't know what's going on. Like they recently told us that we have had like a new moon, temporary moon, for like about 3 years, and then we're going to lose it in at certain point. So we don't know exactly what's going on outside our world. Only the NASA and all of the investigators that they set their eyes outside of our world knows about it. That dream to me has always stuck with me. I've had nightmares, but to me that was the most terrifying, to exist but to not be there and feel time going by so quickly. Mm, okay, well, I wonder, when do you have that nightmare, let's say it so, and what were you thinking at that day? Maybe you were investigating something, maybe you saw something at the TV, or maybe you were watching some, I don't know, science channel. I imagine that must be what a brain exists as without other sensory organs. I'm guessing it was just like your energy, your soul, let's say. But they have some, I mean, they have different names, but I think it's just like your energy being there present in that spot without having anything there. Non-existential related realization used to creep me out as a kid, knowing one day I'll simply be gone. Well, that's like the fear of death. Like you don't know what's going on later on in your life. It's like you know that something it's out there, but you don't know if it's only like blackness, or if you're going to be able to walk around the living, or are you going to be able to transcend as a different energy type or whatever thing it's out. But I only had it as a child. To me, it embodies death. You know, now we get into something that it's common, at least for me and you, because I also had those dreams that I mentioned when I was young, when I was what, from 10 to 20, no, from 8 until 18 or 20 years old. It didn't pass through that. It was only at that time, it was only those years when I felt like closer to. And the last thing that I felt was those things that were in that building. And when I was 23 to 24 years old, I'm sorry, and that's when it happened. So, and that's when it stopped. Because after that, I just focus on anything else. I didn't have like anything else in my mind except of working, finishing my thesis, studying, and that's it. I was just like, I closed my mind from that for that. That was it. So let's say that I lost the ability of dreaming or to have hallucinations, or that's how it is. I don't know. I actually don't know. Yes, yes. our childhood dreams are kind of boring compared to me. My grandpa's, he grew up in England during the Blitz. He will regularly dream of getting shot by German parachutists. Well, yeah, I mean that I'm guessing that was like the recurrent dream because it's something that is happening to you normally. I mean that could happen to you normally. In my case, my dad told me that my grandma and my great aunt, they were feeling things. So supposedly I'm coming from I don't know, people that feel that kind of stuff, supposedly, because that's what I'm telling you guys. In my culture here, they do believe in ghosts and they do believe in energies and things like paranormal activities. So, um, those dreams that we were talking about, they were always going to be considered as part of a paranormal activity. But that's how it is, you know, that's how the culture is. But at the same time, you would think, or you may be thinking, that our childhood dreams should be a little bit more like interesting because we are in this like technological time that everything is like telling us what's going to happen, and we should be like thinking ahead of us. So we should have like a different, I don't know, a different stage of mind. The only thing that separates us from nothing is that feeling of being there. When you sleep and don't dream or don't recall the dream and didn't realize you fell asleep, to me that is death. Mm, why? Okay, okay, it's like death. Um, I don't know. I am not the type of person to dream. If I am dreaming, I don't know. It's because maybe I saw something around the day that impressed me, and that's why I had a dream. I'm not usually dreaming, by the way. I think religion plays a big part of paranormal acceptance. Latin America. Yes, 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 exactly. So we have all of these stories and myths and all of the stories that are around, you know, it's so crazy. I mean, the amount of myths and people seeing death, I mean, seeing or having paranormal activities in this country, at least in my country, I don't know the other ones, but in this country are big in relation to other places, you know, because there are like specific places in Europe when you can go there and then you can stay there at night and they will say to you, hey, in this place you can feel paranormal activities. Sorry, but in here, in every single place that you walk, you will like talk to older people and they will be telling you, hey, yes, in that part, they will say that a woman would just walking by and they will try to seduce you, but in the end, what you're going to see is that it's like a dead corpse or I don't know, skeleton, and you will just like run away, and the people were just like starting to die or whatever. It's those stories. I don't know if it's happening now because the city is growing and they're changing different places and they're like like building different building in different places around the city and they're like leaving the old buildings behind or throwing them down, and that's why maybe we're not hearing the stories again, and the older people are dying, the ones that knew about the stories. And And that's why. I think all of this is to reinforce the idea that there is an afterlife. I do not believe there is one. I think it is nothing like being knocked out, but forever unconscious. Well, I do think that there is. I don't think there is an afterlife, but I don't know how to say it. It's not the afterlife, but it's like you're growing, your energy is growing, you're changing your stage of thoughts and where you're staying at. I mean, how much you have learned. I mean, that's my belief. That's the way more and more people are thinking. Fastest growing train of thought. I mean, I'm not going to get into the topic of religion because I know that everyone will say, hey, when you die, you're just going to wait until, you know, how things are going through and blah, blah, blah. And then God will come and will tell you, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm not going to get into that. What I'm thinking is that, as I said, at least my belief is that we need to learn something in this world. There must be something. I mean, the question will be, why are we here? We just came here because, just because. That's it. We just came here and to just do nothing. That's my question. That's have always been in my mind every time. You know, it's like there must be something. There must be something that we need to do in this world. What it is, I don't know. Maybe I'm doing it now. And if I have to think about it and like torture myself about what's going to happen later on, then that's a loss. So it's better not to think about it. But what I can tell you is that what I feel is that we are just we're just energy. We're just trying to go and upgrade ourselves. Maybe we're just going to end up being a superior being somewhere else, or we're just going to be part of the universe. We don't know. This is just like a really interesting topic. It's like too deep, really. If humans were gone, nature wouldn't care. Exactly. Because we're just part of this decadent cycle. I mean, we are just the lucky ones that manage to use the brain and to take care of ourselves. That's it. Because if there were just like, for instance, the lions or the cheetahs or the elephants to think, I mean, to use their brains as we use them, then they will be the ones evolving, not us. My belief is we are lucky enough to have this higher conscious. Exactly, that's what I was telling. I mean, that's the thing. We have been evolving. How? Right? We have been evolving, but how? Someone or people, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but the thing is that I feel that we are still going in stages, that we need to learn things from where we are. And maybe we are not only into this specific world, but there are different other worlds that have different energies. And we also have to learn from that. That's my thought. I mean, that's my train of thought, by the way. And to me, it is my belief that each person must find their own reason for existing. That's a good way of thinking. That's a good way of thinking. It is not hard to find enjoyment and fulfillment in life, grandiose reasoning for existence or not. Yes, exactly. I mean, You can just say, hey, I exist because I need to be happy with my family and friends. And I just need to like enjoy life. And that's it. I mean, it's not exactly that you need to reason why am I here sitting down and talking to you guys. So that's the thing. But I do believe that, well, as I said, that we are all energy and that we are at certain point learning this process. Like we are upgrading ourselves. We need to do something about it. What is it going to happen later on? We don't know. Maybe we are going to find ourselves after we died. Who knows? That'll be funny, right? I'm sorry if I'm using funny, but I don't want to use like it's creepy or something like that. But it will be nice to be able to pass this life and to remember if we are not going to reincarnate in anything else or in anyone else, it'll be fun, it'll be nice to remember and to say, this is what I thought it was, and I was wrong, or I was right, something like that. I like the way that you say that, Johnny. Like, it's not hard to find enjoyment and fulfillment in life, grandiose reasoning for existence or not. That is really nice. But I think we have talked about different subjects. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. I haven't seen you, by the way, in my channel. So if you want to stay and stick around with me, if you want to subscribe and maybe we can start talking in the live chats. I mean, I like to do lives maybe 2 or 3 times a week. I haven't been consistent in the last week, but I have some personal things that I have been doing. So I really liked talking with you guys about all of these topics. Um, it's being a really interesting chat. That's why, I mean, in here it's passing midnight, so we have been in the live 2 hours talking about it. Maybe the pagans were right, and everyone born after. Well, we don't know how they thought about those things, you know. I mean, they might have. I don't know. No, ghost time. It's around 3 a.m. in the morning. Well, at least here. When you wake up around that time, supposedly you have to brace yourself because that's the time of the death. I have different subjects. So, um, one of the subjects that I started off with my channel, and if you can see all of the history of my channel, I was talking about earning money online. So that's how it started. I started my YouTube channel. Later on, I started to talk about parenting skills and talking about different things that was happening like in the YouTube community and the YouTube drama, you know. That's that's the normal topic around if you know what are those creators doing, for instance, what Jake Paul is doing, or what Nikocado Avocado was doing, or what PewDiePie was doing, blah, blah, blah. So that's another topic that I usually talk about. There is another topic that I am starting to get into that it's like the real world problems. So the last set of videos that I posted was around the coronavirus. And you will see that I'm posting in Spanish and in English. So Don't worry if I'm posting something in English, then wait for the version in Spanish and vice versa. Vice versa. And I also posted a couple of videos about my country as well. So I think I'm going to post like a couple of more videos about my country, and I'm going to leave that topic there. And I want to start talking about ghost stories. I mean, maybe I'm going to bring my ghost stories. And if you want, I mean, I still need to think about what kind of topic I want to talk about in the next YouTube video. But I wanted to go ahead and grab all of this knowledge and put it in one video and to post it in YouTube. What else? As I said, I have different topics that I talk about. I always wake up at that time. I think I've last less than 2 minutes in Ecuador. You think? I mean, that's a normal thing. The other normal thing for me, and I don't know if you have, if you guys are already into that, it's about the repeating numbers. And I'm going to talk about it after I read the last two messages that you sent. Okay, Verity's fun. Yes, yes. If you see that I'm going to post, like, I don't know, if I'm posting some parenting skills, okay, wait for my next video that I'm going to post about something else. So I like to be posting different topics. I don't stay in a specific topic. I am not like only a drama channel or only a reaction channel or only a commentary channel. I like to bring different things to the table. And that's why I like to get into a live and talk to people and to see if they're interested in what I am posting. Corona is all bark and no bite. Is this like a TikTok? I mean, this is a YouTuber? I haven't heard of that. I mean, I have heard of so many YouTubers, but I don't know if it's a YouTuber or not. Oh, it's a virus. Okay, so what I said before is about the repeating numbers. Like, have you, apart from the topic that we're talking about before, about the repeating numbers, that's something that happened to me very often. And I have got some stories about the repeating numbers, and I think I'm going to go into that topic as well at a certain point in my YouTube channel. But every time that I get to see the time, I don't know why, it's like 11:11 or 1:11, like 1:11 p.m. or 11:11 at night or 5:55 p.m. So, oh, okay, I think I'm also going to go soon. So, just to finish the topic, and that's it. You should try to see if there is something related to that number, maybe you need to buy the lottery in that time, I mean in that number. But in my case, I am usually checking on, I mean, every time that I look at the time, I'm like 11:11, 11:11, and which is really strange. Maybe you're just super pumped about the armistice. I don't think so. I'm not even thinking about the World War I. But it's like 11:11, and I have read about the repeating numbers, and they said that it's like your angels are around, or have been telling you that you are going through the right path, and you are doing what you should be doing, etc., etc., etc. 11 minutes of the 11th hour of the 11th day. Oh, I didn't know that. Someone has been like taking the time, I mean, at that moment, specific moment. Wow, that sounds creepy. But I was just like that happened to me like 2 or 3 times a week at least, maybe 4 times a week. And I have tried to not to look at the time, you know, because of that. And what's even worse, I hate when I find like the 555, because it had happened to me. That something has to change in your life. Something is going to change, by the way. It's like if you see 5 5, like a recurrent 555, it's because something in your life is going to change and you need to accept it. Is it bad or not? And I remember I was also, when I was in one part of my life. Did you have a radio station you listened to that was no, it was like the time when sometimes I was just like, every time that I'm having these recurrent numbers, it's when I am looking at the time. I'm looking at my clock, or when I'm driving and I'm seeing at the driver's license plate, because I'm not usually checking on the driver's license. I'm sorry, the driver's plate. But sometimes it catches my attention because it's just in front of me. And I find like 555 or 111. And that's another story for another life. But I have had those numbers, those recurring numbers, trying to tell me something. And I can tell you that it was like maybe 2 or 3 months that I was waking up at the same freaking time at night. It was 3:33 or 4:44 in the morning that I was looking at my cell phone, because I was like, why am I not being able to fall asleep? And it wasn't like, okay, I just woke up and I wanted to check on my cell phone. It's like I was just like turning myself and moving around the bed. I was like, oh, I wanted to sleep. Oh, I wanted to sleep. Why am I not sleeping? And I just like looking at my cell phone, and then I get those numbers. So I think you're looking for it, similar to that theory on your subconscious forming sounds into words. It might be. It might be. But I wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't even related to the numbers until at certain point I realized that I was just not feeling completely rested, and it was because um, I was waking up at that time. If you ask me at that time, at those 2 or 3 months, I wasn't even thinking about those numbers. I was just like, okay, it's 3:33 in the morning. I'm just going to try and fall asleep again. So maybe I would just go and get some water and then going back to bed. And then the next day I will be waking up around 4:44, and I was like, okay, I still have some time to sleep. And I wasn't even paying attention to the numbers at that time. I always used to see 9:21 on the clock and listen license plates. It's all started though because 9:21 was a radio station I listened to as a kid. Oh, okay. That sounds rational. That sounds rational, but I don't know. Like in my case, I don't have any relationship to a 3:33, to a 4:44, 5:55 in that case, and 1:1:1:1. So that's the thing. Like I don't have at least I don't remember if there is something that happened to me that has to be related to those numbers. Want to know a really funny question? What happened? There are so many coincidences that are like funny, to be honest. And then you say, hey, this is a funny coincidence, but it's just a coincidence. You don't think that it's something else. By the way, tell me. I'm waiting for that funny coincidence. I really want to know. And that will be the last thing because I think we should go to bed because it's getting late. But I think I'm going to be live tomorrow, hopefully at the same time. By the way. In 2009, in 2009, I was terrified of the swine flu, which was breaking out that time. And the coat hooks under a jacket was a card that said influence on it underneath a pair of rolling skates. Okay. So you said that maybe you were terrified of the swine flu because you have that card that said influenza on it. Maybe you related to that and then you were scared about it. I mean, that sounds logical, to be honest. And everything, if you gather all of the main points of this live stream, everything has to do with our brain. Everything that we have been talking about has to be maybe done and come from our brain. Like maybe at certain point our brain trick us. At the end of the day, we had a roller skating class, and during the class, the principal announced that all students had to go home because a student at my school had caught the virus. Oh, okay. That sounds like something that will be happening here soon enough with the coronavirus. Crazy, right? Then a team of health workers showed up into the gym I was in with hazmat suits on. What a coincidence, freaking. Oh my God. It is. It is. Maybe you were calling it from your brain. Maybe you have, I mean, we actually don't know how the brain works, like how it really works, but maybe everything that we're thinking and we think about it really hard, it will be true. I mean, it will become true. Maybe you were so like into that swine flu. I mean, it was like terrifying for you, and that's why you bring it up, and that's why you get shocked when you saw all of those people walking in with those suits on. Yes, and that's freaky. I mean, then you will start to make relations with all of that. So it's like, okay, I am panicking about it, etc., etc. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, oh, okay. That's something freaky, to be honest. But if you ask me, I haven't got those. And if I had those, the same thing that have happened to you, no, I don't think I have had those. Sign that says influenza under release hit. Then later that day, during rolling scanning, like swine fluids announced at our school. Okay. Okay, so you haven't seen the sign of the influenza under your roller skates, or you have seen it, and then later that day you know that it was announced in the swine flu. Okay, so that means that you saw it in the morning and then in the afternoon, everything just started. Now, sometimes they said that it's a coincidence, and I don't know, maybe the brain is bringing it to you. What I think it's maybe the brain is working from things that you are not focusing on. Maybe our eyes, even though they are looking at something specific, it's not processing as the way that the brain is processing it. And in this case, it wanted you to focus on it. Maybe it is. It is. It's what I'm saying is that in this case, I think your brain was making you overthink on it, but it happened. But what would you say? It's only a coincidence? Okay. But it will be fun to say that you brought that swine flu on you. And I'm sorry, it sounds as a bad thing, but it's not. I'm just like joking. But it sounds crazy to believe that maybe you brought it to your school with your brain. That will be fun. Just to think that you have that amount of like power, like brain power, to say, okay, I'm just bringing it to me. I mean, in this case, it was a bad thing, you know. I think God was like, yo, atheist, try beating this one on coincidence. It could have been. Exactly. I think it could have been. It's like, hey, take this, try to explain it. I'm guessing. But as you said, everything has an explanation. But there are things that are a little bit more difficult to explain than others. But, anyways, should I call you Johnny or Scott? Because I saw that you were saying Scott at a certain point of our conversation. But, anyways, yes, exactly. I was just going to tell you. I mean, it was really nice talking about this subjects. Um, it was fun. Okay. Okay, I'm going to remember that. If you're sticking with me in the channel, and then we can like talk more in the live streams, definitely. So thank you, Scott, for being in the live. It's been so nice talking to you. My name is Patricia, but you can call me Pat if you want. So if you want to stick around and stay in the live, in the next lives that I'm going to be posting, then that will be great. Good night, Scott, and good night to everyone that will be watching the live stream later on. I'll speak to you guys soon.